Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is January 8th, 2025, about 8 p.m. Lee, it's playoff week. How
Yeah.
you feeling?
Uh, I'm feeling great. This is like one of the best time of the year. It's the beginning of a new year, and it's also the playoffs for football. I love the competition to see all the best teams of the league make it. So I'm excited to see how all these playoffs are going to go wild card weekend.
Yeah, and even though this last month has not gone well for the Steelers, they are one of those teams that
Hmm.
have been good enough all season long to make it to the playoffs. Their first round matchup is against a team we're very familiar with, the Baltimore
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah.
I think we should just get right down into it. How are you feeling
Hmm.
about this matchup right now?
Yeah, I'm not feeling pretty good at all about this one. This was not a matchup I wanted to see for us to make. If we made the playoffs, this is not something I wanted to see in the first round. Um, Although over the years we have had the Ravens number and Lamar Jackson's numbers. We have like a blueprint for him, as Mike Tomlin would say. The last the last game we played them in Baltimore, they beat the shit out of us, and it did not look good. The past few weeks, how the Steelers' offense it has been playing, it just has not looked good at all. They have not been able to produce any points or score or move the ball down the field, and the defense has been on the field forever, and it's just not looking good. This is not a matchup I wanted to see in the first round.
Yeah, as you alluded to, December 21st, Steelers lost 24-17 in Baltimore. A month earlier, November 17th, the Steelers did pull out a win, 18-16 in Pittsburgh. This game will be in Baltimore. Baltimore is currently a 9.5-point favorite. This is also the fifth time the two teams will meet in the playoffs. The first time was in 2002. Steelers won 27-10. And then since Harbaugh's gotten there, since Tomlin's gotten here, we have three matchups: 2009, January 2009, 23-14 win for the Steelers. January of 2011, 31-24 for the Steelers. 2015, 30-17 for the Ravens. That 2009 led us to the Super Bowl as the AFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give a little memory there. Yeah, I know we talked about this at some point about who we wanted to face and who we didn't want to face, and the Ravens were a team that I wasn't like too afraid to face. But like you're saying, I'd rather this be later into the playoffs. You don't want to have to
Mm-hmm.
face them in a wild card round. I was hoping we could use the Ravens to maybe win a game or two that against a team that I don't see the Steelers winning a game against.
Yeah, yeah.
And also around Christmas time, I thought that game it was crazy the point spread there, and it turns out this
Yeah.
point spread's even higher now at 9.5.
Mm.
It's going to be a rough game, especially the way the Steelers have been playing lately. I have a couple comments first here from Mike Tomlin relating to the these were his opening comments for his press conference going into the Raven game here.
All right.
For us, we're playing someone that we're highly familiar with. They're also highly familiar with us. It'll be a third time that these two teams have come together. We'll do it in their venue. And so there's a lot of work ahead of us in preparation for performance. I don't find comfort in the familiarity. If anything, it just provides depth to the strategic waters, if you will. And so we're proceeding with that understanding. For us, it's important that we take the lessons learned from the last month. Unfortunately, you probably learn more when there's failure, and obviously we've experienced some of that. Some of it not jaw-dropping things or earth-shattering things, more confirmation of things that we believe in or things that we engineer victory by. We suffered the consequences of not winning the turnover to battle in recent weeks, and that's been very evident. We've also suffered the consequences of not performing to our standards in the red zone, offensively and defensively. And oftentimes your ability to win possession downs within those situations define you, that 4-point swing.
Yeah, so he brought it up there. Last four games have been a mess early on
Mm-hmm.
for this
Mm-hmm.
team. They got down 10-0 to the Bengals in the first quarter. They got down 13-0 in the first quarter of the Chiefs. Ravens game was a little better, I think. It was only 7-0 there in the first
Mm-hmm.
quarter, and then the Eagles game was ugly early, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
10-3. So they've had to stretch here. of games where they haven't played well. What are your thoughts? And I think Tomlin gets a little deeper into that in a comment.
Yeah, he he said what needed to be said. I mean, this team went from 10-3 to 10-7, and I think it was about 20 days, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
And quick side note, we both predicted 10-7,
Yeah.
going
So
into
cheers to us.
this. Cheers to us, yeah. But the fact that they've played the way they've played over these past 4 games, it's very unsettling to hope that they're going to pull something off with this week coming up against the Ravens. I mean, of course, it is a familiar team, like Tomlin said in that comments there, that they've seen, and it'll be the 3rd time this season that they'll be playing. But just how things have gotten off to a slow start for this team, like you just mentioned with the first quarter with the past 4 games that we played, it has looked very ugly for this team, and they're going to have to come up with some type of different game plan going into this game on Saturday night, and hopefully they can pull off a victory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's brought up 3 things, I think, in there would be the slow starts, turnovers, and then red zone. I don't think that you can say that the slow starts and the red zone are things that are new to this stretch. Turnovers may be new, but those 2 problems, they're not bucking a trend there. They've been bad all season. We've been calling it, the nice way to do it is call it a second half team. But in reality, I think you're just starting slow in the first half. And then the red zone, especially once Wilson came in, there was a lot of times where we were settling for field goals early on, but it was okay since we're still winning. Wasn't a big deal. Now, when the losses come, the warts show a little better more. And then I don't know what the answer is here. Here's Tomlin talking about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
The last 4 games, why is it taking you guys so long to warm up to things?
That's a good question. Some of it's had to do with some of the people that we played have done a nice job. Some of it has to do with us. Rest assured that we're working extremely hard to rectify it, and I'm excited about taking another whack at it this week.
Does it raise alarms about the game plans themselves? Not so execution, but just the.
I don't know that I use the term alarm, but certainly we're analyzing all components of it in an effort to remedy it.
So yeah, there you go. There, not too substantive right there, I guess, but just comments on like, oh, we're gonna try to do better is pretty much what it was. And then the other idea of we've just been playing tough teams. Well, guess what? It's the playoffs now. Every team's gonna be tough. You're not gonna get a break here. The way it's gonna spin out, you're probably gonna face the Ravens this week. You win, you're facing the Chiefs. You win, you're facing the Bills, and then you win, you're playing whoever comes out of the NFC. We've seen what they can do against the Eagles. I think that the Lions are probably a better team than the Eagles, especially with the injuries with Hurts right now. So there's no easy games coming. So that can't be your solution. The fact that your competition might be tough. So where do you see them going here? Just get some clean starts here.
I mean, the slow starts, like you said, it's something that we've seen over the past actually couple of years. I mean, it's rare that this team is even getting a first drive touchdown where they're going down the field on the first drive and even scoring. It's just rarity that we've seen. And like you said, each team is going to be tough now. I mean, you can't blame it on that now, with that, with that type of comment, because now it's going to even get difficult as as this team tries to make it down through the playoffs, So I think that he needs to actually take a look at himself in the mirror before this game and say, okay, what have I been doing wrong this entire season? What has my game plan been with my coordinators throughout this game to figure out a way to come up with a better game plan, because we cannot start slow and cannot be a second half team that we've seen all season, because if you try to play catch up, you're not going to win a game.
And
they got lucky.
This week especially is a tough time with Lamar and Derrick Henry. You don't want to get behind on these guys. They're going to pull away, and it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, they got lucky during this regular season, but now it's the playoffs. It's not going to be as lucky. They're going to have to come up with a actual game plan and actually start this game off hot and keep their foot on the pedal, because if they don't, this game's going to get they're going to lose the handle on this game really quick.
Yeah, and what's more alarming is this trend of poor starts. It also is what we've seen in the playoffs the last few years. If you go back to the 2016 playoffs, the championship game against the Patriots, that was a 10-0 first quarter. The next year against the Jaguars, 14-0 first quarter. 2020 playoffs against the Browns, 20-0 or 28-0 first quarter. Chiefs, it was 0-0 after the first quarter, so that's a little bit of an outlier, but the halftime score was 21-7 Chiefs.
And
then 2023, 14-0 first quarter. So it's alarming to see. And here's Tomlin. He was asked about the playoff failures lately, and this is what he had to say.
A few years since you guys have won a playoff game, what gives you confidence that this year's going to be different?
Because I work with this group every day. I'm excited about it. We're very familiar with this team. We know how to play this group. And so that's where our focus is as we get prepared for this one. What you mentioned is my story. It's not this collective story. Many of these guys involved do not tote those bags. I happily tote those bags, but it's not something that I'm going to project on the collective. Mike, when
you talk about learning lessons from losses related to those playoff losses, what lessons do you take from those in the last 4 years, particularly getting down big early in the first half?
To be honest with you, I hadn't spent a lot of time pondering that in the last 48 hours. I've been getting ready specifically for this game with this collective.
Mike, it looked like you put a lot of trust in.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what he has to say. I'm not overly confident in that what he
not
said.
At all, yeah.
To have the same confidence that you'll see from Tomlin when he's feeling good about the team. I think he might have some concern there too. He did take some blame, though. He didn't try to push it off he didn't try to excuse the losses. He said that's something that he has to carry on for himself. If it happens this week, things are going to get loud. There's already been talk. Adam Schefter, I think it was, said teams might be calling to see if he's available in the trade. He did say that the Steelers would not be interested in doing that, but it could get loud around here if there's a slow start this week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, now you're looking at another, okay, yeah, you could say, I have another winning season, but then you're going into the playoffs again and losing in the first round of the playoffs, and it's like, okay, when is this going to end? Like, when are we going to be able to
straight one and done?
When are we going to be able to at least win a game, in the playoffs to kind of see what this team can be made of? You can't just say, when that lady asked him, how do you feel confident about, how are things going to be different this year? You could say, because I'm with these guys. I've been with these guys. I played with these guys. That's not showing any confidence, like you said. That's just saying, oh, well, okay, yeah, sure. We've played this team before. We play this team twice a year, every year. We have a little bit of understanding, but, this year was different with, Mark Henry or I'm sorry, Derrick Henry on the team.
World's strongest man.
Yeah. Derrick Henry on the team.
Derrick Henry might be the world's strongest man. And that might be a Freudian slip there.
With Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson just having a MVP caliber season. I mean, it's a different team. It's not the same team every year. And just to be able to say, okay, yeah, we played them. We were confident that way. You can't do that. I mean, it's the playoffs. This is for real. You got to have a game plan to go into this. And like you said, there's going to be some chatter and a lot of people talking because, if you go in another one and done, I mean, what's that say about your career? You might have started, your career with a couple playoff wins in a Super Bowl and got it to a second one, but since then you haven't been able to do anything since that Super Bowl loss to the Packers. So, let's have a little bit more confidence and let's have a game plan coming into this Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There is one guy who has some playoff success on this team, and that is the quarterback who hasn't been playing too great lately, but he was asked about how he prepares the team for the playoffs here with a bunch of guys that haven't had too much of an opportunity to have success here.
Brings, do you feel like an added responsibility since you sort of know what it takes to have success this time of year to sort of impart some of that wisdom on these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to the guys a lot of just about the process of winning and the process and what it sounds like to go into the playoffs and just the feeling that it is, and it is 100 yards, it's still 53 and a third, the same field and everything else, but you're closer to the dreams that you always dreamed about when you're a young kid, and the opportunity of that and what we all work for, and so that's real. And I think that, I think also too, I think a big part of it right now is just, painting the picture of how good we are when we're good, and how great that is. And I think we were one of the hottest teams in football, and that was a month ago, but it wasn't that far ago, it wasn't that far long ago. And so I think the biggest thing is that how do we recreate that? How do we build that? How do we go off of that? How do we communicate that way? How do we play that way? How do we make plays in that manner? And I know that we can by how we practice, how we prepare. And I think the best part about it is we got the same guys in the locker room that we had a month ago when everybody was cheering us on. So I think the best thing is that you just focus on the moments, and I think that we're focused on going performing over this week and seeing where that takes us.
So I thought that was a great response. I think mentally he is in a great spot. The question is whether physically he's got what it takes down the stretch here to do what he needs to do to make this team successful. But I really love that answer. I don't know how your thoughts on him were.
No, I mean he's we've talked about it. He's very good with the way he talks and answers questions, and he seems like he's ready to go. And I'm hoping that however he talked with the rest of the team, I hope they're ready to go too. We can't have any some of these poor performances that we've seen over the past couple of weeks with this team, especially on the offensive side. We need to see some these guys ready to come out and actually play and, like I said, put their foot on the gas pedal and get this game going, and, if they if they can jump out to a lead, hold the lead and not just play, down to their competition. So let's, I hope he got these guys, mentally ready and prepared for this game coming up.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I say that was like a perfect demeanor you want to see from your leader. I think he was calm, he was confident. Like I was impressed by that, even though I like to mock him for the way he does interviews. But I thought that was a genuine, good answer there.
Yeah.
But the question is, physically, we haven't done great in the red zone. We haven't done. Yeah. He's had some mistakes that you just don't need to see from your veteran quarterback, especially. So the talk in town, I guess there is some talk of Fields. Here's what Fields had to say about whether or not he thinks he'll have any time in the game.
Impact this game?
Shoot. Whichever way Arthur wants to use him, if he does. So, we'll see.
A simple answer there, but what are your thoughts with Justin Fields? Do you think he's I didn't cut it up, but he's healthy. Everything, he's back to 100%. There's no issues there. What are your thoughts on getting him in this game?
I mean, we have, they haven't used him because he was injured, but I mean, if it can help, if they can come up with some type of play to get him involved, I'm all for it, but let's not do it if it's what we've seen in the past with how they used him on some of those plays, you know what I mean? Yeah, let's not do that. If it's going to help, move the chains and get this offense moving, I'm all for it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I've been a Russell guy most of the season. These last few games have scared me. It's not been pretty. I still think you got to stick with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But, red zone wise, they should be practicing all week to get some plays in there for Fields. I think that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the height, the lack of athleticism he had earlier in his career, but Russell Wilson just hasn't been able to get touchdowns in the red zone. Maybe you have to just really practice some formations and packages for
Justin Fields. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because you need to score touchdowns this week. You can't turn the ball over. It's going to be a tough game. Like I said, 9.5-point underdogs. What's your prediction for this Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Steelers victory, but I think it's going to be another first-round exit, and I think that the Steelers are going to lose this game to a very talented team, Baltimore Ravens, and I think the final score is going to be 35-20 Baltimore over the Steelers.
So I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. If a gun to my head, I'm picking the Ravens, I guess. But I have one more clip that could become legendary around here if the Steelers go on a crazy run. So I'm going to play that before I give my prediction.
All right.
Let's win the last 4, all right? Look at me. Let's go. We can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't doubt now.
Yep.
You feel me? Let's go win the last 4.
I don't know, man. Is that I was cutting clips up and I found that one.
Yeah.
Was that enough for me to my stupid Steeler brain? Can they win at least for Cam Hayward? I'm gonna give the Steelers a win.
All
I'm
right.
gonna give them a win. I'm gonna close game. I'm going 20-17.
All right.
Steelers win this one for Cam Hayward. Get him a
All
little
right.
bit closer to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off 4 straight upsets, but I think they can win this game against a team that they've got a history with, a team that they've had success with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving the Steelers the 2017.
All right. All right. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
There's not too much else to talk about this week, but I guess we can bring up the Pro Bowl. Steelers got ended up with 4 Pro Bowlers. T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, and Chris Boswell all were starters.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about the Pro Bowl. I don't know if you want to bring it up, but I figured I'd say it just in case.
No,
Yeah,
I mean it's gotten so boring as of late.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, it's just not even a fun one to watch. It's like flag football now. It's silly, So it's. I mean, I get player safety and this and that, but come on, what are we doing now? You know what I mean? It's not even fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the Steelers pull off the win this weekend, we will have
Yeah.
some fun. And if there is a win, we will have a post-game show. If there's
We'll
a
have
loss,
a post-game show.
I don't know if we're having a post-game
I
show
don't
after a loss.
know. Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Hopefully we get to talk Saturday
Yeah.
night, Lee. I'll see you.
Sounds good. I'll see you.